Hi, I'm John Davis, and this is MotorWeek. Join us as we attack the tarmac in a pair of hot hatchbacks from Volkswagen. We'll hitch up to the Wayback Machine for a retro road test of 3 heavy-duty haulers. Greg Carlos reports for duty in some mobile military hardware. And we'll test one small but mighty EV from Volvo. So come drive with us, next.
MotorWeek, 45 years steering you in the right direction.
MotorWeek is proudly sponsored by Auto Value and Bumper to Bumper, a nationwide network of stores and shops providing major brand auto and truck parts and service from coast to coast and in your local community. Service is the difference. We get it. Learn more at autovalue.com and bumpertobumper.com.
We're Tire Rack. We test tires and share our results. We stock over 1 million tires. We offer multiple installation options. We do this because we believe tires matter. TireRack.com.
The Volkswagen GTI has been delivering affordable compact thrills to American drivers since it first hopped into the U.S. market in the early 1980s. 40 years later, the current Golf GTI continues to deliver more of the same. Both it and the track-ready Golf R get updated for 2025, and that's reason enough for us to get down to the business of having fun. Down to business and having fun surmises both the 2025 Volkswagen Golf GTI and Golf R. They arguably appear more professional than most of their hot hatch rivals, but under the sheet metal, they're just as searing. And that starts here, the 4th generation of Volkswagen's EA888 engine. In the GTI, this 2-liter Turbo 4 simmers at a front-wheel delivered 241 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. Not too shabby. But this same punchy 4-banger flexes an all-wheel deployed 328 horsepower and 295 pound-feet in the R. That's 13 horsepower more than the pre-refresh Golf R. We always appreciate extra power, though we doubt you'll feel it here. What you will feel is this update's removal of the manual transmission in both Golfs. A 7-speed dual-clutch automatic is now the only way to go. A Golf with no option for a third pedal just feels wrong, but at least this auto is quick and smooth. And it was rapid fire all day at Mason-Dixon Dragway. The GTI passed 60 in 5.7 seconds, catching the quarter mile in 14.2 seconds at 101 miles per hour. This is about as quick as you need, and most of our staff found it perfect for quick draws on highway entry ramps. For the lead foot afflicted, the Golf R's 4.1 seconds 0 to 60 time is quite the remedy, and its 111 miles per hour 12.5 second quarter a higher dosage still. It's obviously quicker, a predictable outcome, as was braking. The R's larger 14.1-inch front rotors and 2-piston calipers stopped us from 60 and 102 feet. An electromechanical brake servo heightens pedal response, and we'd say it was aptly quick with good bite and no fade. The GTI's smaller 13.4-inch rotors, benefiting from the same brake servo, stopped just barely longer at 103 feet. Slalom testing a Golf is an exercise in pure automotive enjoyment. We found the R and GTI Autobahn's included DCC adaptive dampers to be firmer than anticipated on the street, even at their softest setting, but just right through our cone course. Both showed minimal body roll, though we'd like a tad more sharpness and feedback from the steering. During the most intense swings, the R's 4-motion all-wheel drive system can send all rearwards power to one individual wheel for greater agility. As expected, the R is the hotter hat, but our staff agrees the GTI is more than enough for your everyday runabout. Interior updates are limited but appreciated, especially inside the GTI. The steering wheel ditches haptic controls in favor of physical push-button switchgear. Thank you. This two-tone Vienna leather seating is standard on the Autobahn trim and available in the SE, optional over new Club Sport Art Velours seating. The Golf R's leather can be swapped for its own Art Velours, part of a new Euro-style package. It adds almost $3,800 to the price, but shaves 80 pounds by ditching the sunroof and certain power adjustments, and by bolting up a titanium axle-back exhaust. The R's steering wheel still depends on haptics, including the blue R button used for dialing in drive modes. All settings are displayed on the Golf standard 12.9-inch infotainment screen, paired with a 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster. Outside, the GTI's revised face sees a stretched red character line and a standard illuminated light bar and logo. GTI badging adorns the fenders. It's hard to spot the differences on our stealthed-out Golf R Black Edition. Similar LED touches join the unique front end, and these new 19-inch forged wheels are 20% lighter. For the GTI, government fuel economy ratings place it at 24 city, 32 highway, and 27 combined. We saw 29 miles per gallon running regular fuel. The 2025 Volkswagen Golf GTI starts at $33,670, a solid deal. A top trim Autobahn starts at $42,105. The $48,325 required to step into an R is steep, but you'll get every bit of VW performance. In conclusion, we stand by what we've already said. The 2025 Volkswagen Golf GTI is all you need. But sometimes cars aren't about what you need, they're about what you want. And if you really want what an ultimate Golf can do, the R is one rowdy ride. At the onset of World War II, Willis Overland designed a 4x4 vehicle which not only won a U.S. Army contract, but won the hearts of soldiers and civilians alike. What went on to become the Jeep spawned America's ongoing fascination with military vehicles and their history. And this week, our Greg Carlos goes over the edge with a group that honors these vehicles by driving them the way they were meant to be driven.
It's 0930 here at the VFW in Leesburg, Virginia, and the lot is filled with military vehicles from Jeeps to Humvees. And today's mission is to get them out and stretch their legs. You know, military vehicles
Come on, Carlos, it's 0930. Time to gear up, get in a vehicle, and hit the road.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
What's better than hitting the road for an early morning cruise? Well, if you asked this group, they'd say getting off the road. This is the Northern Virginia Military Vehicle Group, and they've enlisted me for a ride along in their convoy.
Today we're out on our annual spring convoy. It's an informal group of military vehicle owners and enthusiasts, all brought together by a common bond of preserving the history of these different military vehicles. Also honor and remember the warriors who were actually in these vehicles.
As a civilian with very little military knowledge, admittedly, I was a bit intimidated by everyone in uniform. But after a little mingling and a formal introduction, it became clear this group is welcoming to everyone, and has been since its humble beginnings.
It started maybe almost 10 years ago with just a handful of vehicles, and amazingly, as we drove through on some of these things, we would have people wave us down and say, hey, I've got a Jeep too, can I join you? And then word of mouth spread, and started from maybe 4 or 5, 6 vehicles 10 years ago to we've had upwards of 20 vehicles in some of the convoys.
While today's convoy represents decades of vehicular military history, the majority is made up of World War II Jeeps.
So I'm driving a 1944 Willys MB, one of about 300,000 that were built during World War II. Both Willys and Ford built them during the war. Willys started and realized they didn't have the capacity to build enough, so they licensed out to Ford to build as well. But this one's a Willys.
Actually, my father bought this Jeep in 1951. He came back from Europe after World War II. I learned how to drive this when I was 10 years of age. And by the grace of God, myself and my brothers didn't wreck it.
And honestly, even if they did, the brothers probably could have put it back together themselves.
But you gotta remember, these things are built for guys with, by and large, 9th grade education. So as long as it's documented in the manual and your Jeep is stock, you can pretty much figure it out. And you're not gonna break anything. If you were to tell me that I was gonna be replacing engines and rebuilding transmissions and fuel systems and electrics and stuff like that, I would have said no thank you. But it's like I was telling these guys today, it's as much fun to work on these as it is to actually drive them.
It's a vehicle that is 81 years old, and yet we're still out there using it. Some people restore them to what we call show condition in terms of like factory line condition, as though it's just rolled off the factory line. Mine is a motor pool condition, means I get out there, I use it, I drive it hard.
And that's what today is all about. The pre-plotted 66-mile route takes the convoy on and off the beaten paths of Loudoun County. Sitting in the passenger seats of a few of the Jeeps, I quickly catch on to the appeal, especially when we get to the water crossings. Here, the bigger, more modern military vehicles have the advantage, but no one in this group is shying away from a challenge. The ride was rough and the roads were dusty, but at the end of the day, we were all smiles.
It's great. They're all nice, and we enjoy talking to each other and learning about our Jeeps.
The routes they choose are fantastic, you know, and never have a bad time. You know, it's just, you wake up in the morning, I couldn't sleep last night. Get to go out, smell like canvas, gasoline. Good day, good day.
That's affirmative, sir.
You ready?
Good to go.
Okay.
After a few laps, I found the controls user-friendly and steering quite responsive. Acceleration is truly remarkable for a vehicle that weighs 140,000 pounds.
To get a feel for how well the M1A2 performs under strenuous engine and transmission loads, the place to go is Churchville.
The M1A2 was incredibly stable as we pounded around the Churchville course with hairpin turns and downhill runs complete with moguls that got us airborne. The rides at Disney World will never be the same.
As we continue to look back through our video vault and 45 years of MotorWeek road test, here's a heavy-duty throwback of 3 hard-working trucks from the Big Three. Of course, I'm referring to the legendary dually, or in this case, 3 dualies. Our test rigs consisted of a Dodge Ram 3500 regular cab equipped with a V10, a Ford F350 Super Cab powered by the new Power Stroke V8 turbo diesel, and a Chevrolet C3500 Crew Cab with a good old 454 V8 under the hood. We'll start with, shall we say, the smallest of our group, the Dodge Ram 3500. It proved to be the most maneuverable, especially when hooked to a trailer. And that trailer can be a big one, up to 13,300 pounds when pulled by our massive 8-liter V10. It pumps out 300 horsepower and an impressive 450 pound-feet of torque. This power plant shares its design with the Viper. But unlike Dodge's sports car, the Ram's interior is designed for long-haul comfort. The Ram also offers the safety of a driver's side airbag, the only one of our bunch so equipped. Moving up to a larger body style, we next consider Ford's F350 Super Cab. Inside, Ford's tried-and-true layout still works well. Seats are comfortable and supportive. Controls are familiar. The most impressive feature of the Ford, though, is the engine. And we think it's great. Horsepower rating is 210, while torque is a beefy 425 pound-feet. Towing performance for the Ford is no great chore with a 12,500 pound rating, and maneuverability was only slightly hampered by its long 155-inch wheelbase. If you need to move people as well as cargo, then you probably want a crew cab like this Chevy 3500. This is definitely the monster of our test fleet, measuring over 20 feet long and riding on a 168.5-inch wheelbase. Maneuverability was a bit of a challenge, however. Inside the crew cab is real room for 6 with full benches front and rear. Comfort is top-notch. A new dash layout is attractive, efficient, and simple. Output for our 95 model is a respectable 230 horsepower and 385 pound-feet of torque. Towing capacity is an even 10,000 pounds. The prices for our well-optioned behemoths are surprisingly reasonable. The regular cab Dodge Ram V10 lists for $26,087. A $3,570 diesel option pushed the price of this Ford F350 Super Cab up to $30,643. And finally, the crew cab Chevy C3500 lists for $27,805. So there you have it, the big three of the big jobs. And no matter which one you choose, each is guaranteed to get the work done. No sweat. Time to head inside to the news desk for Stephanie Hart and all the latest motor news.
We're well into the 2026 model year, but news is still breaking. So here's the latest on some changes coming to some very popular models. The Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer returned to the Jeep lineup 4 years ago. But now for 2026, as part of a mid-cycle refresh, Jeep is consolidating the lineup by making them all Grand Wagoneers, with the exception of the all-electric Wagoneer S, which remains as the lone Wagoneer model. Along with the name game comes some styling updates. And later in the year, Grand Wagoneer will get a version of the Ram Revs V6 base series hybrid system. Word from Ford is that Bronco Sport buyers can go for the bronze in 26, with a fresh coating of bronze-colored trim throughout the interior and exterior. All part of a new bronze package that also includes unique Sinister bronze 17-inch wheels. But when it comes to special editions, we much prefer BMW's M2 Turbo Design Edition, with its fantastic hand-painted graphics that throw it back to classic 2002s that were sold in the 1970s. It's so retro it comes exclusively with a manual transmission, but hurry, production will be extremely limited. In Saturn news, Kia has announced the end of production for the Soul. Once a competitor in Nissan's Cube and Scion's XB, this boxy hatchback has been the lone survivor since 2015. No word yet on if the Soul Hamsters will be assigned to a different Kia model. Finally, with federal government EV incentives now ended, many car makers are stepping in with some relief of their own, but none more than Hyundai, who have slashed prices of their all-electric Ioniq 5 utility by as much as $9,800, putting a base SE at just $36,300. That price is right, and that's it for this week's Motor News.
After 3,000 miles of mostly commuting spread over 9 months, we're saying arrivederci to our 2025 Fiat 500e. There are a few takeaways, most of which we've commented on before. It's great fun on twisty roads and very capable of reaching its 141 miles of EPA range.
The 500e's range doesn't stand out on paper, but in practice, it's been more than adequate given that we use it primarily as a short to medium distance commuter, and we are not shy with the accelerator pedal. Each stab of it gives us an instant burst of torque that keeps us engaged during the daily grind.
Now, it hasn't been perfect. We'll gripe about the rear seat's limited folding action till the sauce is simmering, and we wish blind spot monitoring was standard. However, we'd also like to counter online claims of jerky regen braking. Ours only stutters at very low speeds. It's otherwise very smooth, excellent for one-pedal driving. This 2024 Fiat 500e also proves that electric cars can have soul. Peppy acceleration, superior road translation through its firm European suspension, and a proper city vibe inside and out. When we need more cargo space, we switch duties over to our 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander. Boasting up to 64 cubic feet with both rear rows flattened, it's a real deal utility. And passenger space is ample too. We'd only wish for some larger, big gulp accommodating cup holders. As we've previously alluded to, the Outlander's 181 horsepower inline-4 isn't the quickest, smoothest, or most efficient, but it balances all these traits well. And with 26.8 miles per gallon observed after adding another 2,500 miles of testing, we're plenty happy with another small uptick in efficiency. While it's back on patrol, we'll check in with our Subaru Solterra on the next MotorWeek long-term road test update.
In addition to being leaders in automotive safety, Volvo is quickly establishing their EV credentials, along with making full battery electric vehicles more attainable. Well, that brings us to their first small premium utility, this EX30. So let's find out if this little SUV still does big Volvo things. Volvo is certainly not new to the EV game, and this 2025 EX30 is their most affordable player yet. But this small Vo is far from what you'd expect for an entry-level ride. For starters, this twin-motor performance version of the EX30 puts out an impressive 422 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. That translated into some very fast numbers at our test track. Now 400 pound-feet of torque is hardly that extreme these days, but feeling every inch of it released immediately in a small vehicle is a wild experience for sure. It's a bit like being inside a Rubik's Cube that just got shot out of a cannon. Just 3.3 seconds after punching the accelerator, we were at 60 and wondering what just happened. And yes, that makes this little EX30 the quickest production Volvo ever. And a heck of a lot faster than this 1982 Volvo GLT Turbo that we tested in the very first season of MotorWeek. At least it looked like a Volvo. Our EX30's fierce delivery of power did ease a bit as we worked down the track, which was good as things started getting a little floaty at triple digits. We finished the quarter mile in 11.9 seconds at 112 miles per hour. In our handling course, there was not a lot of steering feel, and we did find a bit of oversteer, but there was very little body roll, and the EX30 had a true lightweight, tossable nature. The brakes were very responsive with good initial bite and no fade, averaging only 109 feet from 60. All EX30s work with a 69 kilowatt-hour battery, delivering up to 261 miles of range in the 268 horsepower single-motor rear-wheel drive version. Our twin-motor performance with 19-inch wheels is rated at 253 miles, but is capable of much more as we were on track for 283 miles in our test loop. Its max 153 kilowatt DC fast charging rate will take the battery to 80% in less than 30 minutes, and using 31 kilowatt hour of electricity per 100 miles, the EX30 earns a good efficiency rating. All of that is great, but the EX30 can be as frustrating as it is exciting, as Volvo has needlessly taken Swedish minimalism to the extreme here. All interactions happen through the central touchscreen, which also acts as the speedometer, or with the touchy steering wheel switchgear. There isn't even a simple way to turn the vehicle on or off. For a brand that prioritizes safety, it seems counterintuitive to force a driver to look over at the center stack to see their speed, or menu dive to change side mirrors. It is small, but doesn't feel cramped up front, and there are lots of thoughtful storage options to keep things from appearing cluttered. Less spacious in the rear seat, and cargo space is also rather small for a utility. 12.4 cubic feet in back, expanding to 27.8 with the rear seat backs folded. There is a cubby up front under the hood as well. For now, only twin-motor performance EX30s are available in Plus or Ultra trim for a starting price of $46,195. Both are very similar, the Ultra mostly just adding a few more driver assist features. All US-bound EX30s are now assembled in Belgium, with less expensive single-motor versions due to start arriving sometime in 2026. When we first met the 2025 Volvo EX30, it promised to be a game changer by delivering the full Volvo experience in an EV with a mid-30s price point that was lower than any of their ICE offerings. Instead, we got a pint-sized powerhouse of performance packed full of features with price to match. Bad news for bargain hunters. Still, that's the kind of automotive bait and switch it's hard not to get excited about. Well, that's our show. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, for more Motor Week, including daily news updates, podcasts, and even complete episodes, cruise on over to pbs.org/MotorWeek. And I hope you'll join us next time. We'll take a retro road trip through MotorWeek's video vault to how we all got here with a special 45th anniversary episode. Till next time, I'm John Davis. We'll see you right here on MotorWeek.
To learn more about MotorWeek, television's original automotive magazine, visit pbs.org/MotorWeek.
The MotorWeek app, which includes our latest reviews and feature stories, is now available for mobile devices.
MotorWeek is proudly sponsored by Auto Value and Bumper to Bumper, a nationwide network of stores and shops providing major brand auto and truck parts and service from coast to coast and in your local community. Service is the difference. We get it. Learn more at autovalue.com and bumpertobumper.com.
We're Tire Rack. We test tires and share our results. We stock over 1 million tires. We offer multiple installation options. We do this because we believe tires matter. TireRack.com.
This program was produced by Maryland Public Television, which is solely responsible for its content.
You're watching PBS.